System is producing the snow, sleet, and freezing rain through the Midwest. That's causing extensive delays at Chicago and also across the Midwest.
So we've got departure delays of at least 30 minutes out of Chicago O'Hare. So maybe if you're flying out of or into, you're being impacted.
Where we have severe weather to talk about. Canman, several tornado warnings right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about what's going to happen now into the southeast. In places like Charlotte, you could have 3 seasons in one day. We're going to go from like summer, spring to winter as the system moves on to the northeast. So Goliath is going to make its way into the Midwest today and into the northeast tomorrow. Then we have yet another system coming in for Wednesday. So here we are with our temperatures into the 60s and 70s, still that southerly flow, plenty of moisture being tossed around by Goliath. Look at the heat as we head into the afternoon, still above average, being in the warm sector. That means our temperatures are going to be above average by some 20 degrees in really much of the southeast. As we head into tomorrow, watch that front coming through. Nashville, we're only 10 degrees now above average. So temperatures will be cooling off as Goliath is pulling in that cool air. Remember, it has that counterclockwise spin, right? So it's spinning counterclockwise. As it's moving up, it's pulling in that cold air behind it. So we will see our temperatures start to cool off a tad. I mean, still into Charlotte, we're at 21 degrees above average, but you can see even Jackson, Mississippi is not that far above average. So here's a look at Charlotte. We go from 63 on Thursday to 54, and finally the 30s we're dropping down for our lows. A-Rod.
Covington County, Jefferson, Davis County, Mississippi. We'll get that up for you in just a moment. But, just one of many hazards we are dealing with 111 million people in harm's way.
Goliath living up to its name this morning here. We are talking about not only the severe weather, but the record-setting snow that is going to continue. And then on top of that, we have freezing rain. And that's going to be significant into the Midwest, by the way, into the Northeast as well.
All the way from Oklahoma right into Pennsylvania.
Oh, not to mention
freezing rain
the flooding.
To be an issue. Huge flooding problems. It's going to flood again in the south. Let's take a look at this tornado warning. This is what bothers me about this storm is it's kind of a little broken off from the line. So this has been tornado warned down before.
Yeah.
Down here, here's Covington. Summerall. Give me the storm relative, if you would.
Because this does not look so super good.
Let's see if we got some kind of, oh yeah.
Well, there's just a broad rotation, okay?
No, right here.
Yeah, right there in it. There's a little notch right there.
All right, so Summerall, keep an eye out areas to the north and west of Summerall. That's where the action is.
Oh, he's pointing out there, but we think it's right there. We think this is what's getting the what's prompting
Well, sometimes what happens is the whole line kind of occludes.
No, that's true.
I think that the strongest rotation is definitely back in through here.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be watching.
Listen, there's a ton of rotation here. The whole
damaging
thing
wind, tornadoes. It's in the rain, so it's probably rain wrapped too. So you're not gonna be able to see this tornado more than likely. It's going to be in all that as it continues to move off to the northeast.
Okay, so that's the severe side. We also have the cold and the wintry side of this system as well that we want to get to. We have winter storm advisories, freezing rain, snow, and sleet, and it's been just brutal in places like Oklahoma City.
It has, and you know what? Sometimes it doesn't take heavy precipitation. As a matter of fact, I often think that the lighter precipitation is worse for the ice element because it has time to freeze.
Yeah.
Right?
Melt a little bit and then freeze up there.
Exactly.
All right, so let's go to Reynolds Wolf, who's in Oklahoma City this morning. And Reynolds,
man, he's bundled up.
You are bundled
That's something I rarely see him be bundled up like
you were talking about the wind, how it's gotten much worse. How has the precipitation changed since you've been there too? Okay, so that's going to cause some problems. We need to talk about the flooding. 13 are now dead in Missouri because of the flooding. 5 to 10 inches of rain have fallen in eastern Missouri and western Illinois over the past in Chicago. Now, what a ground stop means, if you ever hear that, is if you're in, say, Atlanta or if you're in New Orleans and you're trying to fly into Chicago, they will keep you on the ground in your departing airport and then eventually let you take off. So you're going to probably be sitting at the gate for a while here, and it's all because the weather's moving in. And by the way, Chicago, the weather has just started to get bad. So today is going to be a disaster for flying into the Midwest. This is Goliath. It moves into the northeast tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we see our next system. We have another trough coming into the west. That upper trough produces another surface low Wednesday into Thursday into the southeast. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, really not that bad. And into the first weekend of our new year, things actually quiet down. And temperatures are still mild, you guys. I mean, seriously, New York into the 40s, Chicago and Fargo into the 20s. Cantori, this might seem like it's cold, but that's actually average for this time of year, but it's going to feel cold because it's been so warm.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a
Chicago, they're reporting IP minus, so just a little bit of sleet. Yep. A little bit of sleet popping off there. And I looked up Kansas City as well. Remember how we were looking on the radar and it's kind of fluctuating? It literally is fluctuating. I looked at the last 6 hours, and you get anything from freezing rain to snow in that area. All we have is clouds here into South Florida. 77 degrees in Miami. You can see some of those puffy clouds. By the way, a lot of people look at these like, oh, cumulonimbus. A lot of people know that name. By the the way, nimbus, that means rain, the nimba part of it. So you can have nimbostratus, that would mean a strata cloud that is raining. Cumulonimbus would be a cumulus cloud, which is the big puffy ones. It has to be raining, though. So if there's nimbus attached to it, that means that you have showers. Okay, so where are we going to get the rain? Well, this low pressure is going to make its way to the Midwest and into the Northeast, but what does that mean for the South? We're in the warm sector here still. You see this? This is our warm front. We have that southerly flow, so the warm sector still 20 degrees above average for us, but as Goliath makes its move, our temperatures are going to cool off a little bit. Look at Nashville, for instance, 25 degrees above average, but as we head into the day tomorrow, we're only going to be about 10 degrees above average, so there are the changes coming, though right along the East Coast, Anna Rittis, it stays very, very warm.
Yeah, just an awful situation. And what's really amazing, you know, first of all, the other day, the 145-mile path, third longest ever potentially in Mississippi. We've had some of the strongest tornadoes for the year in the month of December.
We had an EF4. Let's go to Gabe Gutierrez, who is where that EF4 hit, who is in Rowlett this morning. Gabe, what type of damage are you seeing and how widespread is it?